time, kid.
This here is all about my wife, my kids, the life that I live. Through the night, I was his. It was right what I did. My ups and downs, my slips, my falls, my trials and tribulation, my heart, my balls.
This won't be the end of me. Or you. It can't be, because we're a team.
Welcome to Philly, birthplace of America and home to all manner of famous icons, including the Fresh Prince, the Philly cheesesteak, the Liberty Bell, Tom Hanks' first Oscar, Patty's Pub, and of course, Rocky Balboa, the boxing icon played by Sylvester Stallone, made famous in 6 films over the course of 30 years, now carrying over into the spin-off franchise of Creed and Creed 2. I'm here to talk to the cast and director of Creed 2, and in the course of my short stay, run my way to the Rocky Steps at the Philadelphia Museum of Art and get a look at that famous statue before jet-setting my way back. Would I have the fortitude to make it? Stay to the end to find out. But first, I had to see the movie.
I got loyalty.
I was afraid I couldn't live up to these expectations.
I got loyalty inside my DNA.
Okay guys, so I just got out of Creed 2 and I gotta tell you, I hate to be a cliche, but I mean it's a knockout. It's so good. It really feels like it just ties the whole legacy of the Rocky films with the Creed films, and while I want them to keep making them, I don't know, man. I don't know how you top this. So that it's amazing. There's so many layers to it. There's so much. I don't know. It's just got it takes the formula and then it kind of spins it a bit. It really went places that I didn't think it would go. It was just great. I really loved it. I can't wait to see it again. And I kind of, like I said, I want them to keep making these movies, but at the same time, I don't know how you top it. So, man, go see Creed 2. It's legit awesome. So this feels like a film really about legacy, more so than the other Rocky or the last Creed film. So I'm curious for you, like, what is it like to live up to the legacy of everything that's come before?
Is that what I'm doing? It feels right. It feels this is how it's supposed to be. You know, this is the first time I'm coming back to a sequel to any film that I've done. You know, you're taking a character and you're evolving his relationships. You know, with his family, with himself, professionally, and we're trying to, you know, the legacy is so important in this because there was something before him. You know,
yeah.
You know, there was a history there. There was a legacy before him. So now he's just trying to create his own, and I think that it's actually very helpful that there were the Rocky franchises and the fact that there was all this other extra history there, because it's just more stakes and more things for Adonis to kind of to challenge himself with of how to build his own identity. So
Stallone is obviously embedded in the fabric of these films leading up to this point. How does he help you find Adonis Creed?
I think you know, one of the biggest things he's told me when we first started, it was don't try to do what I did. He said, don't try to do what we did, you know, be you. You know, be your own man, yeah, you know, trust your gut and go after it. And that's what I've been doing, so.
This film too, I mean, there's some really intense emotional scenes in this film, more so than I expected, to be honest. And it really felt like maybe those were harder than the physical scenes. Was that the case at all? Did you ever feel that?
Yeah, I think that some of the emotional stuff was a lot heavier than the physical. The physical is things that I'm used to. That's you know, the preparation, what I need to do to get into shape. I was already anticipating that. I think the emotions on some of the scenes were pretty tough to go through.
So there was video from the first Creed where you get clocked.
Come on, by Ward.
Yeah. Was there ever anything like that with Florian in this one? Did you guys? What was the comparison between fighting Conlon in the last one and fighting Florian in this one.
Oh, you mean not home? Okay, I see what you're saying. I mean, yeah, we took real punches. Yeah, there's a lot of intentional punches that we had to take in order to get certain shots. So yeah, Florian has a few, and I have quite a few also.
Last question, just what is your favorite Rocky film?
Rocky IV.
Man, that's what I'm talking about.
First one I saw, and it was just full of action, and I just love the way they tied what was going on in the world, and in cinema at the same time, and how just the power of cinema. I really felt the power of movies then.
But you don't think I could beat him? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying I'm not gonna be here forever.
And what's that supposed to mean?
That means you gotta do some smart thinking.
Oh, you want to talk about smart decisions, Rock? You in this house all alone. Who been taking care of you? Me. I've been here for you. Who else you got?
About to do the Rocky run. I'm gonna head straight to the steps and also to the statue, so wish me luck. Hope I don't get hit by a bus, truck, car, biker, or pigeon. I think I'll be okay. Let's do this. It was a perfect sunny fall day the morning of my Rocky run, and the streets of Philly were alive. As I began my preparations for the momentous stroll, I gave some thought to my interviews for Creed 2 and decided that I'd share a fun little moment between myself and Tessa Thompson just as the cameras began to roll. Check it out.
If we don't do what we love, then we wouldn't exist.
It's like nothing really matters to him right now, including me.
You gotta think real hard about this. So you got people that need you now.
I'm taking the fight.
If I take a picture for social real quick?
Do you want to, can you, what? Let's be in it together.
Just for social? Okay.
Don't you think?
Let's do it together. Here, I
Okay.
can do it real quick.
Cool.
We can be like this, like, there you go. Now we talk,
Is that on selfie mode?
Yeah, here. Or if you're gonna do it, go ahead. There we go.
No, that's still on selfie.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Tessa.
Thanks. I'm sorry, I'm kind of camera shy, which I know is weird given what I do, but
That is weird.
yeah.
But you're very
It's
good
true.
at it. Okay, so Tessa. So Bianca faces a lot of challenges in this one, and it's a layered number of challenges, really. So I'm curious for you, like, how did you feel portraying this character again for a sequel and tackling all of those new challenges?
I mean, I really love playing the character, and I'm so pleased that I got to come back and work on this film and get to have lots to do inside of it. I think for me, anytime that I'm approaching work and dealing with something as a character that I don't entirely understand, I just try to do as much research as possible. So certainly in the progression of her progressive hearing loss, it was important for me to understand what that means, and truly I realized how little I knew about just hearing and how it works. It's so complicated, and I have my own personal experience with someone very dear to me who deals with his own hearing loss, so I had proximity to that, but understanding that experience for myself was something that was important, and I had tons of help in understanding that. But yeah, I'm just so pleased to get to play a character that I think is so layered and complex and nuanced.
You have a lot of great scenes with Felicia Rashad in this as well.
Yeah.
Can you talk about what it's like working with her?
Yeah, it's incredible. I mean, it's like truly a dream come true, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Felicia. She really paved the way for me and for so many women like me. And she's such a generous performer, like so generous. And you know, I mean, what she was doing during this film, she was directing a play in New York, so she came and shot with us on her only off day. She would come and be with us on Monday. She'd work all the way through the week directing this show that was about to open and coming and working with us. She's a consummate professional and just so incredibly gifted. She's the kind of person that comes onto a set and every single person wants to be better, and that's like, to have even a fraction of the magic that she has. Yeah.
So Bianca has a really cool scene at the end. It's hard to not. I have to talk about it. It's just too cool. I know it's kind of spoilerish, but it's a great scene where you're actually using your musical talents to introduce your husband, to introduce Creed. Tell me about that scene, because that's really, really cool.
Yeah, that was something actually that I think it was. Well, it was Steven's idea, but it was something that had been toyed with on the first one. Not that she would come out singing live, but that Adonis would come out to one of her songs.
Right.
And it didn't make sense in the context of the first one, just musically. The songs that I happened upon didn't make sense for that. So it was really cool and satisfying for it to happen on this film. And the song is an incredible song that James Fauntleroy came in and worked with us on, Ludwig and myself, who's a brilliant composer and producer. And the song is about sort of what you'll go to war for, and this idea, I think, embedded inside of the song, and also the moment is that Adonis and Bianca now are a team. Like, they are in it together, and they're willing to fight for each other and with each other, and I thought that was so beautiful and kind of badass. What do you have to prove?
It's not about that. You wouldn't be any good to anybody if you didn't do what you love. You wouldn't be able to breathe, right? Well, I wouldn't be any good to anybody if I don't handle this the right way. But I need you. I'll beat him.
Better.
So apparently there's a legit Rocky run today, like with medals and everything. It's crazy. In just under 2 miles, I had made it to the Rocky Steps at the Philadelphia Museum of Art. Unbeknownst to me, an actual Rocky Marathon was taking place on this day, which brought people from all over the world to celebrate in this famous journey. Now, it was my time to join them. But first, I had to talk to a few Russian adversaries from Creed 2.
Some big guy is sitting over there waiting for you. He said you don't know who he is.
You.
Ukrainian boxer Viktor Drago appeared today in Philadelphia.
This is Creed versus Drago. This is the fight the whole world wants to see, unless he's afraid of history repeating itself.
I ain't got a choice.
That's the same thing your father said, and he died right here in my hands.
Because of you, I'll lose everything.
This is our chance to rewrite history.
So Dolph.
Yes.
Did you ever think that you would play Drago again?
No, sure didn't until about 2 years ago when I heard from Sly. I got a text, it says so, please go again. It's like, I don't know, I have to see a script, and then I didn't want to do it, and then I met with this guy, Steven, the director, and I read the script, which was not just good, it was fantastic. Not just for me, for everybody.
Yeah.
And it was just a masterpiece, and I said, oh, I got to make this film, for sure.
So, and Florian, this is your first big acting role. So did Dolph give you any advice? Was there any help that he gave you to prepare for this?
Well, yeah, of course. I think he first wanted to see what kind of human being I am and how I deal with pressure. But I think you fastly saw that I can deal with pressure. In the gym.
Because in the gym you see who's who.
Exactly.
If you're really a real man or
Exactly.
just pretending to be.
Exactly.
So he was cool. He was a real guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was begging for advices and experience. I was trying to learn from his experiences. We have a lot in common actually, because we were the same age when we started our movie, Rocky IV and Creed 2, both European, both fighting background. So yeah, I was really enjoying and working with him, absolutely.
So one of the things that really surprised me about the film was the balance of characters. And the Dragos are not villains. Like, this is a movie where you guys, both of you, are really fully well-rounded characters. What was the challenge? How did you guys make that happen, Ben? How did you guys do that?
Thanks. Well, I agree. Yeah. That's what we liked about the script.
Exactly.
A little bit quick. Yeah, it's like the first Rocky, where Apollo Creed wasn't the villain. It was Rocky who had to overcome his own problems. And the same in this film. I have to overcome my own problems. And we worked on that, on those scenes a lot. I worked on my own backstory, my own, the character, where he was coming from, what he wanted, and so did you. And Steven was just a great director in all of those scenes. There's a lot of conflict. There's a lot at stake here.
So, for you, Florian, you spent a lot of time in the ring professionally, and you spend a lot of time with Michael B. Jordan. How does he measure up as a boxer?
Well, he's a true athlete, I can say that. And he's adapting pretty fast to things that you show him. That's what a true athlete, is like. And I think, if you see him on the skipping rope or on the punching bag, on the speedball, you realize that he's pretty talented in boxing. I'm pretty sure he could pull that off, like turn professional. But I think acting is going pretty well, so he's going to stick with that.
Yeah.
Would you guys return to play the Dragos again in another film?
Sure. Just see if they can cut some of my Russian lines out. Otherwise, it was good.
All right, so now at the Rocky Steps, about to run them. Don't look too bad at all. Not at all. It's gonna be fun. I ran here. It wasn't quite as long as I thought it would be. So I guess I'm gonna have to run back to get the full workout. I can do it. So anyways, let's go run these steps. Play my music. Here we go. Rocky Steps. Doing it by twos. It's not cheating, is it? Adrian! Wait, that's like the boxing match. I fucked it up. Drago! I can't get out of Rocky 4. My Rocky Run journey was complete, and it felt like I'd crossed off a bucket list item. I guess that's the power of Rocky's legacy. More than 40 years later, people were still running these steps in his name. And speaking of legacies, I had one more person to talk to on this journey. Director Steven Caple Jr., who had a heavy burden to carry in making a sequel to the breakaway hit that was Creed. So Steven, I'm curious for you, what was it like getting the call to make this movie?
I was on set of a TV show called Grownish when I got the call just from the studio, or from my agency about the studio, saying they wanted me to do Creed 2, and I've been in talks of it, and they spoke to Sly, and Sly have seen my first feature, and first you're like, first of all this was going on, so it's not like my team submitted the film and was like, hey, look at Creed, look at this director for it. It came to all of us out of nowhere, and I was like, wait, what? And so that wave of like nerves hits you, that wave of excitement, and that wave of like worry, obviously, because it's a great franchise, and to have the opportunity to step into it it's huge. But at the same time, you're like, I want to do well.
Yeah. So now the Drago storyline feels like, I remember hearing it, and I was like, man, that is a perfect way to continue the Creed. Like, it's something that kind of needed to be addressed, and it felt like this was a really natural way to do it. Yeah. Was that always the intent?
See, I was on the fence about it when I heard it, you know what I mean? I felt like it was organic, like I was like, that is a cool way to do it. But then the part of me was like, but it has to be done right. Yeah. And so this is before I was on a project, and so when they told me to bring Dragos back, I was like, that makes total sense to me. That feels like the next step. He has a son, I want to see that beef, but the part of me was like, but I hope it's done right, because the characters felt so real in Creed 1, and then in Rocky 1 and Rocky 2 they did as well, and in Balboa, you know what I mean? And so I just wanted to make sure that it had that flavor to it, that texture to it, as we approached the Dragos. And so when I got the script, I wanted to make sure that we highlighted those moments and the emotions behind it.
And that, to me, was one of the things that really stood out in the film was the balance of these characters.
Yeah.
And it never felt like the Dragos were the villains of this story. It felt like everybody really had their piece. They had layers to them. It wasn't just, these are the bad guys, these are the good guys. How did you guys find that balance?
There's a few different ways. First, the story, obviously, just figuring out where he came from. I think, to me, we already knew with Creed where we can go with it. We didn't want to just make it a revenge story, though, so we went deep into what Creed would be thinking about if he were to take this fight, if he had the strap, or the belt, so to speak. What is the next step for him? Who's the challenger, and does he really feel like the champ? And so those are things that we explored about his legacy. And then with the Dragos, I just went off this image that I saw in Rocky IV, where, at the end of the fight, when Rocky's doing his iconic speech, if I could change, you could change, we could change speech, you showed Drago in the corner with his head down, and, no longer with the support team. And you saw his girl behind him, and she kind of was there, but wasn't really supportive. It kind of was like a doubtful look on her face. And so, take that image, it just said a lot, and I just ran with that. Now, where is he at? Does he have the support? This, that, and the other, all things we can explore as we develop his storyline and have his arc.
Can you tell me about how Stallone helped guide you in this? Like, being like the kind of the father of this legacy, can you tell me what was his involvement like in helping you?
No, it was a lot of involvement, man. I mean, he's there when you want to call him. He's always like, I'm available from the beginning stages to the end. And on set, he was super helpful. I asked him many questions about fight sequences, how should I shoot it. When he came out to Philly, just sat in his room for a while, just talking about like the process and what's the most efficient way of doing certain things, and talked about the format and formula, because he cares about story. And again, he wrote this draft too. He's a co-writer, but he wrote this draft, and so I got to see him as a writer, and talk through that conversation, not just as a director and direct him in the scenes, but just like, hey, what is the format? What should we do in this scene? How do we get Rocky to this place? And I mean, it was a great experience, man. One, to just work with him, and two, for him to be so open to filmmakers like Ryan and myself, to travel down this journey with him in this franchise.
This won't be the end of me. Or you. It can't be, because we're a team.
Now you know what you're fighting for.
Round after round, you learn more about yourself. And when I stepped in that ring, it wasn't all about me.